Walk into any martial arts school and you see walls covered in technique charts. The more moves you collect, the more vulnerable you become under stress. Here is why that happens and what you should do instead. When violence erupts, your brain does not engage in complex reasoning. It defaults to primal stress reactions. Fine motor skills deteriorate, cognitive processing narrows, and your ability to access a vast library of techniques vanishes. This is why even highly trained martial artists often forget everything they know in real confrontations. The problem is not the training, it is the training method. When you memorize 50 techniques for 50 different situations, your brain under stress must recognize what is happening, sort through dozens of options, select the correct technique, and execute it perfectly. This process takes too long. While you are stuck at step 2, the fight moves on. Paralysis by analysis is the direct result of stacking technique upon technique without a unifying framework. The White Lotus system takes the opposite approach. Instead of adding more techniques vertically, you add deeper understanding horizontally. Think of it as the difference between memorizing every chemical reaction in a textbook versus understanding the periodic table. Once you understand the elements and how they interact, you do not need to memorize thousands of reactions. You can predict them. You are not limited to the combinations you drilled. You create effective responses to situations you never saw before. This is elemental understanding. Instead of asking which of your 20 techniques fits this situation, you understand the underlying principles at work and create the perfect response in real time. Cognitive load does not increase with each new situation. It decreases. Consider the difference. Traditional approach: 10 punches to defend against, 5 kicks to recognize, 3 takedowns to counter, 2 grappling attacks to escape, 20 separate technique memories required. White Lotus approach: understanding spatial relationships, recognizing timing patterns, identifying psychological cues, assessing environmental factors. One unified framework for all situations. The first approach gives you 20 solutions for 20 specific problems. The second approach gives you the tools to solve an infinite number of problems you never specifically trained for. You stop collecting techniques and start understanding movement. This shift changes how you train and how you respond under pressure. You work with your natural stress responses, not against them. A profound psychological shift occurs when you stop collecting techniques and start understanding principles. The anxiety of "do I know the right move for this?" disappears. It is replaced by the quiet confidence of "I understand what is happening here and I know how to respond." This is not theoretical, it is physiological. When your brain is not frantically searching through a mental filing cabinet of techniques, it remains calm and focused. You process information faster, make better decisions, and execute with precision. This confidence comes from competence, not from believing you have a bigger toolbox. You build exactly the right tool for any situation because you understand the elements that create it. At modern combat martial arts, you build your foundation through the physical mechanics of the White Lotus system. But the real transformation occurs when you understand why those mechanics work. The elemental framework that turns random techniques into predictable outcomes. You learn the principles of spatial relationships, timing, psychological cues, and environmental factors. These principles apply to every situation. You do not need a separate technique for each attack. You use the same understanding to generate effective responses. This approach reduces cognitive load, increases adaptability, and builds genuine confidence. You stop adding noise to your training and start focusing on signal. The path to combative strength is not about knowing more, it is about understanding better. Stop collecting moves. Start understanding movement. The path to true combative strength is not about knowing more, it is about understanding better.